Cerebrum. Cerebrum is the first largest part of brain, and forms 80 to 85% of total brain weight. It is responsible for consciousness of a person. The cerebrum is divided into two parts. These parts are known as hemisphere. Human brain has two hemispheres, right hemisphere and left hemisphere. The cerebral hemispheres are divided by median longitudinal fissure. These hemispheres are further divided into hippocampal lobes, by hippocampal fissures. Hemispheres are interconnected by a thick band of transverse nerve fibers, called as corpus callosum. It is the largest commissure in human brain. This commissure has two parts, anterior and posterior. While the anterior part is known as genu, the posterior part is known as splenium. The roof of cerebrum is known as pallium, the lateral walls are known as neopallium, and the ventrolateral walls are known as corpora striata. The presence of corpus callosum is a peculiar feature of a mammalian brain. A C-shaped bundle of nerve fibers is also present in brain. This is known as fornix. Each cerebral hemisphere consists of two parts. Outer part, known as cerebral cortex, which is made up of gray matter. And inner part, known as cerebral medulla, which is made up of white matter. This gray matter is filled with cytons of a nerve cell, while the white matter is filled with axons. There are masses of gray matter which are present inside the white matter. These are known as basal nuclei. Cerebral cortex is 2 to 3 mm thick, and contains 75% of neurons of brain. The cerebral medulla consists of a bundle of axons, which extends in three directions and forms projection fibers, association fibers, and transverse fibers. The cerebrum has ridges and depressions present in it. The ridges are known as gyri, while depressions are known as sulci. The surface of cerebrum is highly folded, due to large number of gyri separated by sulci. This folding increases the surface area. The pattern and arrangement of these folds is directly related to a person's intelligence. There are three deep sulci present in cerebral hemisphere. They are the lateral sulcus, parieto-occipital sulcus, and central sulcus. These sulci divide the cerebral hemisphere into four lobes: the anterior frontal lobe, middle parietal lobe, lateral temporal lobe, and posterior occipital lobe. These sulcus separates different parts of brain. The central sulcus separates frontal and parietal lobe. The parieto-occipital sulcus separates parietal and occipital lobe. And the lateral or the sylvian sulcus separates parietal and temporal lobe. Now let's know the functional areas of cerebrum. Sensory area. This area receives impulses from receptors, and are involved in analysis of sensations. Association area. This area interprets the input, and stores the input from the other lobes into higher levels of consciousness. This area is thus involved in learning, reasoning, and memory of a person. Motor area. This area transmits impulses for response to any stimuli. Now, which areas are included in sensory areas of cerebral hemispheres, and what are their functions? First is the general motor area. It is located in the frontal lobe, and controls voluntary muscle movements. Second is the premotor area. It is also located in the frontal lobe, and this also controls voluntary muscle movements. The third area is the association area. It is too located in the frontal lobe, but controls the association between various sensation and movements. It is related with memory, intelligence, judgment, and problem-solving ability of a person. Next is the motor speech area, which is also known as Broca's area. Along with the others, it is too located in the frontal lobe. It is present on left hemisphere in right-handed person, and on right hemisphere in left-handed person. This area helps to translate thoughts into speech, and controls the movement of tongue, lips, and vocal cords. Any injury to this area might lead to an inability to speak, inability to write, word deafness, and word blindness. The next area in cerebrum is the sensory speech area, which is also known as the Wernicke's area. This area is present in the parietal lobe, and helps to control speech, language, and reading. Next is general sensory area. This too is present in parietal lobe, and is concerned with sensation of touch, temperature, pain, pressure, and speech. The synesthetic area controls pain, touch, pressure, and temperature. The taste area controls gustation, that is taste. The olfactory area is present in temporal lobe, and it controls smell. The auditory area in temporal lobe controls hearing. The visual area in occipital lobe controls visual sensation. And the association visual area in occipital lobe is concerned with perception, analysis, and storing information obtained from vision. Some of the mental functions of cerebrum are consciousness, memory, intelligence, emotions, fear, and ethics. Other functions include voluntary function, smell, micturition, hearing, taste, and vision. This completes the first part of forebrain. The next part will include diencephalon and olfactory lobes.